Russian President Vladimir Putin, on December 4th, publicly commented on the United States' recent tariffs imposed on India, providing his perspective on the matter and highlighting what he perceives as inconsistencies in US trade policy toward its global partners. Putin said that if the United States has the ability and the right to buy Russian uranium for its nuclear reactors, then India should also be allowed to purchase fuel from Russia without facing additional penalties or restrictions, as reported by India Today. He stated that, if the US has the right to buy Russian fuel, why shouldn't India have the same privilege? Emphasizing the need for fairness in international trade and energy agreements. The Russian president said, and I quote, "As for India's purchase of energy resources from Russia, I would like to note and have already publicly mentioned this once the United States itself still buys nuclear fuel from us for its own nuclear power plants. That is also fuel, uranium for the reactors operating in the US. If the US has the right to buy our fuel, why shouldn't India have the same privilege?" Trump pursues his own policy and he has advisors. His decisions aren't made out of thin air. He has advisors who believe in implementing such tariff policies involving the imposition of additional duties on trade partners ultimately benefit the US economy. He is acting in good faith, I presume. Our experts believe there are risks involved, but it is the choice of each country and its leadership to decide which economic policy to adopt. We have never engaged in such practices, do not do so now, and have no intention of doing so in the future. Our economy is open. We hope that, in the end, all violations of World Trade Organization regulations will be rectified. Putin is on a 2-day visit to India from December 4th to 5th, during which trade and energy discussions form the core agenda, highlighting the importance of bilateral cooperation in strategic sectors for both nations. Putin's remark came in response to US President Trump's imposition of additional duties on India for purchasing Russian oil, a move he views as inconsistent with international trade practices. In August, the United States imposed a 25% penalty on India for importing Russian crude, effectively raising the total tariff burden to 50%, creating significant economic pressure and complicating India's energy procurement plans. These tariffs were imposed amid a wider Western push to phase out Russian energy imports, representing a coordinated effort by the US and its allies to reduce dependence on Russia and reshape global energy flows over the coming years. The US also announced sanctions against 2 major Russian oil companies, Rosneft and Lukoil, on October 22nd, marking a direct escalation in economic pressure against Moscow and targeting 2 of its most important energy corporations. This marked the first time the Trump administration imposed direct sanctions on Russia, signaling a new phase of economic confrontation that goes beyond previous measures and sets a precedent for future policy. On December 3rd, the European Union announced an agreement to suspend all Russian natural gas imports by late 2027, outlining a long-term strategy to eliminate reliance on Russian energy and transform the continent's energy security landscape.
Last night, we reached a provisional agreement on the Commission's proposal to fully phase out Russian fossil fuels. We're turning that page, and we're turning it for good. This is the dawn of a new era, the era of Europe's full energy independence from Russia. Many believe this would be impossible. Well, the figures speak for themselves, and let me give you some. Today, Russian gas imports, so LNG and pipeline, are down from 45% at the beginning of the war to 13%. Coal imports are down from 51% at the beginning of the war to now 0%. And crude oil imports are down from 26% to 2% today. I always knew that we could deliver with unity, with resolve, and by building on the extraordinary work of the past 3 years. With our Repower EU plan, we overcame the worst energy crisis in decades. We saved energy together while ensuring energy security all the way. We diversified our suppliers to trusted partner, signing new partnerships, and we invested in renewables and nuclear at unprecedented speed. As we slashed Russian imports of fossil fuels massively, we also cut the revenues that Russia uses to wage its war of aggression against Ukraine. We were paying to Russia 12 billion euros per month at the beginning of the war for fossil fuels. Now we're down to 1.5 billion per month, still too much. We aim to bring it down to 0. We will continue to support immediate needs and help build a more resilient Ukrainian energy system for the long term. To conclude, this is a good day for Europe and for our independence from Russian fossil fuels, because this is how we make Europe resilient.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.